We had a dream many years ago to live life away from it all, to have some sheep, maybe a cow or two, with cats and dogs and goats and an occasional moon. With our love for God, we can't go wrong. Our love can only continue to grow strong. Doesn't matter the difficult road.
No joke, I just growed a beard. In real life, no joke, I growed a beard.
Hey guys, it's Reese here again.
I like all those turtles from our pond. I wasn't going to cry.
And I am toy hunting.
And welcome to my channel. Plant marigolds next to your squash to keep the squash bugs away. Here at the Ozark YouTube scrap. Hello, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's so good to see you all. Hi, Penny, how are you? Hi, Robin. I think I saw Robin. Did I somewhere? Yep.
Yeah,
There's
right there.
Robin and Brad and Chastity and I don't know who else, but I do know there's 10 people in here so far. And welcome in. If you want, you can leave a little comment below and make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Tonight we have a special guest, and her name is Kathleen, and she is from the channel Literature and More with Kathleen. And hi, Jennifer, how you doing? And so she is going to be my subject of interest tonight, but I can hardly wait. We have an author in the house. How exciting is that? But first, I want to tell everybody that's on here, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because as you know, our channel did reach 100,000 subscribers, and I'm so excited. You know, we're not a new channel. We're an old channel. It lost its way along the road, and so we're just grateful. We're truly grateful. Anyway, and I'm so glad that you guys are coming along with me, and I'm just so tickled over that because I just think the world of y'all. And some of you have really, really grown dear to me at my heart, and I thank you. You guys don't know what you've done for me, because many of you pulled me out of a deep depression after losing my son, and I am so grateful for all of you, and I'm never going to ever take that for granted, because I know that I was truly blessed to have each and every one of you in my life. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you all. I'm so grateful, and you've really been there to support the channel, and thank you. So that being said, okay, the mushy stuff out of the way, I am doing a giveaway on May 7th. I have to go to Southern Idaho for my mother's funeral. As many of you know, she passed away. And I get back on the 5th. I believe I get back on the 5th. And then I'm going to be doing a giveaway. And it's not a big giveaway. It's not for the 100,000 subscribers. It's a giveaway just because I think the world of you guys. And sorry, I'm getting dog hair off of my pants because they're blue, but they're white now because I have Great Pyrenees. Anyway, I am going to be giving away a special drawing, $100 for my members. And I'm also going to be giving away some other stuff for non-members, but you know, everybody will be able to participate. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys will all be there. There won't be my cat's attacking me. There won't be any growing up with another time. The giveaway will be in that slot on that particular night. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. So spread the word. And then, of course, we have the YouTube Ozark meetup hosted by Simply Jan Homestead, Gail Southern Living, and myself. And it's going to be June 6th through the 8th. And I hope you all can attend. I'm so excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, we're going to have more information come out. If you want information and you don't have the information yet, please go over to Simply Jan Homestead's channel and look at her playlist. Gail Southern Living may have a playlist up on it as well. I don't have a playlist up yet, but please go and check it out, and I will work on getting a playlist up. And so all of that being said, let's jump into Miss Kathleen. I'm so excited to have her here.
I'm glad you invited me.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel and what you do?
Actually, I have 3 channels. So my original channel is My Alabama Farm Life, and I started that in August of 2020. So I've been doing it almost 5 years. And then in June of 2022, I started Literature and More with Kathleen. And that, it started out, I was doing Bible readings. I was reading the Bible. And I felt that it was really cluttering up my channel, so I moved it over to, I started the Literature and More, and I started doing that. And I've always been kind of a writer, short stories. I've read and written probably since I was a teenager. So I started writing short stories. I was also reading short stories. I was just doing a lot of things on this channel. And so I finally started writing again. I actually had 2 books that I have been writing for many, many years. And after I got settled here in Alabama and I started having some spare time, I started writing again. So that's where I am right now.
Well, that's exciting. Tell us about your latest book.
Right now, I am working on, where's it at? It's called Grayson's Mansion, which is I'm going to change the name. I've already decided that it's going to be called something else. So far, what I've been doing is I've been doing what they call a beta read, where you go through and you read the story out loud, and you can kind of get an idea of how it, if you read it out loud and it sounds good, then it'll read good. So I have 19 chapters up on my channel right now. I had really, really good momentum, and I ended up having to rewrite chapter 20 and doing a couple of other things, and I haven't done anything since then. And I also got a new computer. So I got a new computer, and it's like, squirrel. So I have a new toy, and I've been playing with that, trying to get everything uploaded. I was having a really, really hard time getting Microsoft to log in on it, but I finally got that done yesterday, and I was able to go ahead and pull up my documents. I have my old computer sitting here next to me just in case I need stuff, because my whole life is on this old computer, and I'm waiting for it to break down at any minute. But I'm loving my new computer, and
yeah, we got one almost at the same time, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
But this one started making noises, and I stream. I actually have 3 channels. I have with security cameras set up on my chickens, and I run chicken live during the day on my chicken live with my Alabama Farm Life, and then I run chickens at night on my Alabama Farm Life. And it really does help with hours. I haven't been making as many videos as I used to. So that has helped a lot.
How many hours do you have now on that channel?
Which one?
My Alabama Farm Life. I mean, on the one that you're trying to get monetized.
Oh, that one I have. When I looked at it this morning, I have 28. Yeah, 2,800 hours.
Wow.
But I don't have a lot of.
Wow, you did them real fast though.
It did. I started looking at it. I'm like, I'm almost to 3, but I only have like 250 subscribers. So yeah. I need to work on that, and I need to make some shorts, because shorts always help with subscribers.
The shorts I'll tell you what, everyone, the shorts are what got me my subscribers. For the most part, the shorts are what got me my subscribers. They won't get you hours. No. I struggled with hours, but I found out that if you do the lives like Kathleen's doing, you can get your hours really quick. So you can do it. You can do it in, probably, you can have all your hours probably in about 6 months. And your subscribers, if you're doing lives and shorts, you'd probably get it all done within 9 months, 6 months? What do you think?
I'm probably going to get mine. It'll be less than 6 months.
Yeah.
I think it'll be less. But my biggest hurdle will be getting the subscribers, because I'll have the hours. It's the subscribers. I'm getting about 40 to 50 hours a day on the live stream, which has picked up from where I first started at.
Oh, Penny, that's so. I know. I wish you could come. I will give her a big hug for you. Yes.
Well, I understand, Penny. I had planned on going this year, but my daughter is due at any time. Well, I can't. She's due. They're going to put her under on the 29th. She's breached.
Oh,
so.
Wow.
I have a new grandson on the 29th, but I won't be going up in there until the end of May to help her. And I will be in Florida while you guys are having fun at the Ozarks.
Oh, because I'm sorry we couldn't get to see you this year. Hopefully next year, God willing, if we're all around.
Oh, I have no doubt of that. I have no doubt of that. Maybe.
Yeah, we really want to see you all, and yeah, I know, Ariella, I know. So let's talk a little bit about why you started your YouTube channel and how you started it and how it came to be.
Well, My husband passed away. He moved me to Alabama, and I was living. We were living with his mother, my mother-in-law, and we were right in the middle. We were just about done. We had a few more things to do. He went back home to Florida, where I've lived for many, many years, and he got sick, and it wasn't COVID. He had a problem with sepsis, and he had a procedure done, and he got sick, and because of in 2020, everybody understands what was going on. They locked everything down. He was by himself. They wouldn't let me in.
Wow.
I would sit outside where I thought his window was, and just sit there. I did that for like 2 days. But by the time I got there, because I was in Alabama, by the time I got back down to Florida, he was just really, really bad. And there wasn't anything they can do for him. The sepsis was just too much, and he couldn't fight it. And they were treating him for something not sepsis because they kept insisting that he didn't have it. But anyway, he passed 5 years ago. But once I got everything finished up in Florida, I got everything back up here in Alabama because I've got my mother-in-law, and right before my husband left back to Florida, he got me chickens. I had all these tiny, tiny little chickens, and I had to leave them in Alabama and get all this stuff done. It was, considering the things that were going on, it was a bit of a nightmare, but I had no support. Was doing all this by myself because everybody was, everything was shut down. But when I got back to Alabama and I got settled, so he passed away in April, I started my channel in August. So I was so isolated. It was just me and my mother-in-law and her chickens and my dogs.
Oh, wow.
And we're about 20 minutes out of town anyway. And I'm surrounded with nothing but forest and, fields. And I started walking, and I got to the point to where I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to other than my mother-in-law. So I've been watching YouTube videos for probably 2 or 3 years before we even made it up to Alabama. I watched all the big channels. So I pulled out my camera one day and I just started
filming.
Just started talking to myself in the camera. And then I finally got brave enough to where I just put one together, and I published my first video, and that was, like I said, in August of 2020. And I tried to put out as many videos as possible. I have slowed down a lot. I used to try to get 2 videos a week out, and now I'm down to 1. It's so hard to try to get stuff done and then pull out your camera and trying to video everything that you're doing because, you're just so busy. And I try to remind myself that I need to slow down. I need to pull out my camera. I need to video myself. I need to make these videos. But, and then I'm also on my other channel. I'm live streaming on my Chickens Live. And then I also have my Literature and More, which I kind of stopped that. I was doing really good. I was doing a video a day. And
Wow.
Then my computer started crashing and I just kind of lost momentum. So.
Heather, not to interrupt you, Heather or Jennifer, can you go ahead and share her channel link here in the chat? Thank you. We're trying to get you, because Penny wants her channel link.
Oh, there it is. Let me see it.
So, wow, you've been through it then. I didn't have, we never, like when I was talking to Bushcraft family, Charles, and you just never know what somebody is going through or what they've been through.
No, you don't.
And what we see on YouTube videos is such a tiny, tiny little moment, a reflection of our day, and but you never get the whole person. You don't even come close to the whole person.
No, because when I'm in my garden and I'm doing garden videos, I try to add little stories, but I'm not telling you, everything that has happened to me my whole life. But I keep, excuse me, we just finished dinner. We ate late, and
That's okay. We did too.
yeah.
So if I burp, it'll be.
But yeah, but no, nobody, you could not, oh my goodness. What am I trying to say? These real life shows that, people actually really do.
Hi, Ann.
That's not their life. That's just a made up skit that they do every day. And when I do a video, I'm trying to show you, well, this is what I'm actually doing. There's nothing made up. I delete the mistakes.
I make a lot of them too.
Yeah. So
Or
I
speed it
delete
up.
or speed it up, yes, because I'm not I make long videos sometimes, but usually my videos are only anywhere from like 8 to 12 minutes. Sometimes, if I've got a lot of stuff going on, or if I have enough filler in between, while I'm working. Because, sometimes I don't have a story to tell, or I don't have something to show you. It's just, I'm in the garden, I'm pulling weeds, I'm planting seeds. Last week it was throwing mulch. So, and then today.
It's like, you don't want people to see all your failures,
It's like, yeah, I started the project and I'm like, oh goodness, I didn't even pull my camera out. Well, here we go. But I started out.
I see all these beautiful gardens on YouTube, and I never wanted to show mine because it never looked like that.
No, mine does it. You should see. I have 2 raised beds across the street by my greenhouse. My greenhouse doesn't have a cover on it. It blew off the last, I want to say the last storm. It wasn't the last storm. It had already blown off by then. But the cover was so old, it already blew off. I've got a new one waiting for me to put it together. But it's just that I have so many things going on. It's really hard to prioritize what. Every day I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to do today? Because if it's raining, it's not a lot. I'm in the basement. I'm, working on my plants down there, or doing laundry. Besides making videos and writing, I'm also doing my laundry, washing dishes. I got 5. How many cats do I have? I got 5 cats and a dog.
We all turn into cat women when we get older, don't we?
Oh my goodness. Two of them came from Florida with me. And then 2, the stray cat across the street had babies, and I ended up with 2 of them. And then when I bought this house, the cat that lived here, she's still here. She's under my desk. So I keep thinking she's going to pass away on me anytime. She gets sick, and I'm like, oh, this is it. And then she gets better, and I'm like, okay, Shelly, let's keep on going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have been blessed with cats.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what it was like living in another time for you.
Okay.
So go ahead. I'll open the floor to you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I'm a boomer. I'm the very last year of the boomers. But I think I'm more of what they call the Jones generation, kind of in between. I actually apologized to my daughter the other day when I was talking to her on the phone. I'm like, I am so sorry that I am your mom and I put you through so much. She's like, no, Mom, you're a good mom. And I'm like, yay.
I don't apologize.
Well,
they probably wish I would.
You hear all these stories and it's like, oh, that these boomer grandparents. It's like, oh, I got 1 grandbaby here, and I got soon to be 2 in Florida, and that's a 9-hour trip one way. And, I got rabbits, I got chickens, and it's hard to ask somebody else to take care of your animals while you're traveling. But when I go in June, my son will take care of everything. But I think we're trying to downsize our rabbits. My bunny, she got out of her cage and she just had so much fun with her male friend. Thankfully, I only ended up with 3 extra bunnies, but
Oh, wow.
they're all male. They're all boys.
That's how my goats always are.
Yeah.
They're all going to
Gosh.
auction.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to try to get rid of all of them before I leave, and then they're just going to have the chickens to take
Yeah.
care of. So, and then try to get the garden done so it's easier to take care of while I'm gone, because everybody works, everybody goes to school. So, I'm the one that does a lot of the gardening and the weeding and the feeding and all that good stuff. But,
Yeah.
gosh, you want to talk about another time?
Where'd you grow up at?
Florida.
In Florida?
I have lived almost my entire life in Florida. Excuse me. I was actually born in Georgia. My dad worked for the paper mills, so we lived in South Georgia for a couple of years, and then he started working in the steel mills, and we ended up in Tampa. And we lived in Tampa for a little while before my parents divorced, because, that's what happened. And then my mother remarried a man in the military. He was in the Navy. And from then on, I was a Navy brat, and we moved all over. So mostly we were in Jacksonville, but I lived in Memphis, Tennessee for a little while. And like I said, but then we moved back to Jacksonville. But I spent a large part of my childhood in between Memphis and Jacksonville. And lived in Miami for a little while. So that was after he got out of the military. Well, wait, I'm sorry. That was a different husband. He was also in the military. My mother married a lot.
That's okay. It happens.
My mother got married 3 times.
It happens.
I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like, I can't imagine getting married again. I just could not. I just don't even want to think about that. Oh.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were talking about. Nope, never again. Never, never.
Nope. But yeah, I grew up in Florida in between. We lived in Jacksonville. I lived in Tampa. I lived in Miami, and then we settled in a place called Fort Pierce, and I spent the rest of my adult life in Fort Pierce, where I got married and I raised 3 children with my husband.
Wow. So what was some of your favorite memories of growing up in Florida?
Actually, my favorite memories were from Tennessee. We had a horse in Tennessee. We lived out, oh my goodness, we lived out off the bluffs of the Mississippi River. And although I love Florida, it really is my home state. Living in Tennessee was the best memories of my childhood, because, like I said, I had a horse when I was 6, and I used to ride him bareback, and his name was Stony. I still know that horse's name. And we had dogs, cats, and we ran the woods, and it was a good time. We lived there for about 2 years. So.
Yeah. Kentucky and Tennessee are pretty close. I mean, we look very similar. The people, I think, are very similar. Our accents are similar. I mean, I don't have an accent, so,
No, you don't. But yeah, so Tennessee, and this Alabama is like Tennessee. I don't have a horse. I swear, owning a horse is like having a big dog. So, I have my chickens, I have my rabbits, I've got Rudy, I got my cats, my son's here with his family, mother-in-law's across the street, everybody comes to visit. I love it here. It is it is so peaceful. If I had stayed in Fort Pierce and continued my life in Florida after my husband passed, I don't think I would have made it as well as I have here. Um, I think I needed the solitude. I needed the woods. I needed I needed the
It
quiet.
healed you. I mean, it was there. Yeah, it helped you heal.
It really did. It helped me be quiet and, oh, I
Yeah,
want to say listen to God.
yeah.
'Cause really, I would just sit and just listen to nature and just thank God for all that He had given me, and
I just
knowing
want to
that
give you a hug. I wish I could give you. There's a virtual hug because I mean, I truly understand loss, and I haven't lost my husband, thank God, but
it's
I've had a
different.
lot of loss in my life,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine,
Yeah.
you know.
But it's different when you lose a child. Like I tell my mother-in-law, it's like I cannot imagine your grief because you lost a child. I lost my husband. And the grief, the loss of the child, I just can't imagine losing one of my children. It's just not something that I would ever want to have to go through. Like both my parents are deceased, and I was okay with that. They lived good lives. Even my husband, he was 51, and he had lived a good life and probably lived longer than what he should have because he had a lot of problems. So I kind of knew that at some point in my life I was going to have to continue this journey on my own, and I wasn't wrong. So I was
Yeah,
kind of prepared for it, but you never want that day to happen. So
you don't, and you know, but the reality of it is when we lose anyone close to us, we go through that grief process, and it's not fun. I mean,
no,
it's just not fun, and it can either, you know, I think initially it breaks you, and you're you just feel like you're frozen in a moment, and you can't get out of that moment,
no.
and it can suffocate you if you let it, and yeah. So it's a tough thing, but yeah. But thank God he does. If you listen to him, he's working you through it, and he just does it in a way, and
He put
that
me in a place where I needed to be to
yeah,
heal
yeah,
and to come to terms because you want to be angry, you want to scream. It's like what are you doing? Because you depend upon that other person that's your life mate.
yeah,
And we were married 31 years, and and we had dated and lived together for 4 prior to that. So yeah, you get better, and
yeah,
thankfully I was I didn't have to go through the anger and the bitterness. I think I cried a lot. Every time I turned around, I was crying.
yeah.
It, and then you
I'm
get to the
not
point
there.
where no, and you're not through it. Even now, it's been 5 years, and you think, well, you'd be over it by now. But
Yeah,
when you spend so many years with one person, and you plan on growing old,
yeah,
and you have all these plans, and then all of a sudden, it's not. It's just, stop. We were going to
yeah.
buy a
Your
house.
life changes in a moment. Just totally changes.
We were going to buy a house, and then we were going to build a house, and thankfully I was able to buy this house. It's directly across the street. It just I don't know if my husband were still alive, we would have been able to get the house, because I literally humbled myself and came to the people that owned it, and I was like, this is how much I have. I can't afford any more. I can't give you any more. This is the max amount. and the house was hoarded, and because they were elderly and they didn't have anybody taking care of them, and it was not in good shape. I've had to do a lot of work to the house, and still now it's all cosmetic, but we're working on that now. But I just came to them and said, leave whatever you need to, take what you want, leave the rest. I got you. They're like, well, what about Shelly? Shelly can stay. I will take care of Shelly. But you decide. This is how much I have. This is it. I can't give you any more. But I'm going to make your lives easier, and you don't have to fix anything. We don't have to get anybody out here to do inspections. We don't have to do any of that stuff. It's just me and you. There's the two of us. And so they sold me the house. So
Wow.
God was looking after me when he sold me this house, because
Really, really. I mean, how awesome. What an awesome story.
but
Very
but
awesome
my husband,
story.
but I know my husband, he would have, he would have been not the con artist, but he would have tried to get the house for as cheap as he could, and he just oh, I don't think he could have done it, because it was hard for them to leave the house. So I came to them with humbleness, and I was straightforward, totally honest with them. And so, like I said, God blessed me when he helped me get this house. So even with all the problems I had.
How awesome. I mean, that's really awesome. Yeah. So I'm so happy for you. I know it.
Oh yeah, I've done a lot more than I ever imagined that I could have. I was here with my daughter for the first, say, 2 years, and then I don't even think it was 2 years. I'd have to sit down and map it all out, because I'm not as sharp as I used to be. But my daughter was here with me for a little while, and then she moved to Hawaii, and then my son came up here, and they've been up here over 2 years. Excuse me. So my children have been a blessing. They have been here and helped me do things up. My daughter got married in my barn. So we've done a lot of really great things here in this house, and I've barely been in it 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. Barely been here 4 years.
Well, that's neat.
We've had a wedding. We got the basement fixed. The children have been here. Like right now, I'm working on curb appeal, because the house was covered in ivy. We're still working on that. But I'm working on planting things and building things that are edible for my garden, while still trying to maintain, a decent, well, not a decent look, but, a nice look to the house when you drive by. So that's what I'm doing. Plus, we're working on the garden across the street. We've got about, I think I told you we have about an acre across the street. And we got our tomatoes in. It started raining. And hopefully this week we're going to get our okra in.
Wow, Penny. So
sorry, Penny. But yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I am so sorry for both of your losses. And Ariella, she's in the chat too, and she's been through that as well. She said you need to fight not to become bitter.
I think, like I said, my husband, he tended to be sick. In fact, I'd almost lost him, I think, 8 years prior to him actually passing away. He got sepsis. Like I said, he had a problem with sepsis. He got sepsis really bad. And the doctors told us that he had a 50-50 chance, and he pulled through that time. Yeah, but I almost lost him then. So I got, I got a few more years.
So you were, not that you were anticipating it, but it was always
there.
The thought
it was always
there.
it was always the thought that, you know, he's going to get sick, he's going to get an infection, and he's going to get sepsis, and you know, this time he's not going to pull through. And it
Yeah.
finally got to that point, and it just happened to be when we were at the height of the vid, and it just,
Yeah.
it is so important to family and loved ones to be with you when you are sick. Strangers, you know, I am so thankful for the nurses and everyone and the doctors that took care of him. But there is nothing like having a loved one by your side, making sure that you are getting the proper care.
Exactly.
Because, you know, so that's, if I was bitter about anything, that's what I'm bitter about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, understandably so. Understandably so. Yeah. What were some of the things that you remember doing with your family when you were growing up?
Oh, goodness. Now, my family, me and my husband, my kids are growing up. Even when my husband was growing up with his parents, when you went on vacation, you went to go see family. Now, me and my husband were both of the same opinion that when we go on vacation, we're going on vacation. We're going to go do stuff. But we also went and saw family too. But most of our vacations or our trips were to go see family. My mother and her family were from Knoxville, Tennessee. And my dad's family was mostly in Florida. But my stepfather, he had family in New York, in Corning, and we used to love to go up there to Corning, New York, and that's where the Corningware is. I think he had family in a town called Painted Post, but his aunt had a big old house out on the side of a mountain, and we used to go stay there, and there was a stream outside the house, and during the summertime when we went there, we would swim in the stream. We would run the woods, and I guess that's why I wanted a farm. It's like all my best memories of being out in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot, you know.
My best memories were being on a farm. Oh, I know that now. That's a kitty.
So were you raised doing a lot of the same things that you do now, or did you learn a lot of the things that you do now later on in life?
I didn't. I remember when we were in Tennessee one year, we did a big garden. And I remember that we got out, we tilled the field, and we planted. And I remember doing that. And I was 6, I think, and I remember doing that. But I've always liked to plant. I always liked to have my hands in the soil. I've always liked doing that. I remember one time we moved into a house where the previous tenant had left a bunch of succulents and cactuses and stuff. And I would just repot and water, and there was I can't remember what kind, it was a fruit tree in the backyard. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was an avocado. But I just remember loving that tree. And
That's coughing a furball.
my cats are outside.
Oh,
My kitties are outside, except for Shelly. I don't know where she went to. She's usually under my feet or laying around somewhere.
okay, kitty. So sorry.
That happens when they get older.
Get by my feet and start coughing. Wow. So, do you think that your parents influenced you more or your grandparents influenced you more with your lifestyle now?
Oh, that's hard to say because my mother, my dad, It's hard to say who I got that from. I just know I always liked to grow things. It's always in the trees. I was a bit of a tomboy, so I was always doing stuff outside. I I love being outside. When I
Yeah.
was, of course, living in Florida, when I was a teenager, I was always at the beach. um, I just loved being outside. And then when I was a teenager and a young adult, I really didn't care about plants and stuff. I was too busy having fun and living my life. And then I settled down and had kids, and I was too busy just trying to survive. Because when you've got small kids and you're both working and you're trying to
Yeah.
get laundry done, so you don't have time for any of that stuff. I think when things started to slow down and my kids got older and I had a little extra time, I started. It was mostly just gardening, lawn work, trying to make my lawn look good. And then I started out, oh, pulling the ornamentals out, and I started growing food. I remember one year uh, I made a nice little edge on my house, and I grew a bunch of broccoli, and then I started growing tomatoes in the backyard, and then I was growing pineapples in the front yard, and then I was trying to
Pineapples.
draw. Yeah,
Well,
and then I was trying to grow blueberries, but blueberries in South Florida is just. I did manage to get a handful of blueberries one year, but blueberries do not like the heat. And in my last house in Florida, we had 3 huge mango trees. And oh my goodness, I never imagined loving mangoes as much as I did living in that house with those beautiful trees and all that fruit.
yeah.
But
I love mangoes. I could eat mangoes all the time. I love them.
they're
I
so
wish I could
good.
grow them here. But
Me too, but I can't. And the ones you get in the grocery store, we used to, they were football sized mangoes.
yeah,
Probably not as fat as a football, but as long as as long as a football, and they were huge, and you could make a meal out of one mango, and then you go to the
wow.
store and you get these little bitty
Little
baseball
little
size.
bitty ones.
Yeah, it's like that's not a mango.
Yeah,
That's not a
yeah.
mango. And then I grew pineapples. Those are so easy to grow, but
Wow.
I probably could grow them here. If Nah, I can't. I try to grow stuff in my greenhouse during the winter time. It just gets too cold. So.
Hi, Robin. Yeah, I would love to grow pineapple. How many of you in the chat would like to grow pineapple? I would love to grow pineapple. But
And I used to eat pineapples all the time, but you see them in the grocery stores every once in a while, yeah, but it's just not the same.
yeah,
Yeah. We had a little market down the street from our house in Florida, and we used to go in and I'd buy the pineapples, but it was just a great little market. We got all our vegetables from there.
and I love mango salsa too. I've made it before too. In fact, I still have a couple of jars in there.
I used to
Very
make
good.
mango. Used to make mango preserves. They'd take pineapple and mangoes
Mm,
and can them.
yeah,
That
I
was
love mangoes. Excuse me. So, what was your? You were a military kid.
Navy brat.
Yeah. At what age did you start? Were you all your school years the Navy brat, or?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Oh, I used to live in Charleston. I forgot about Charleston. Lived in Charleston, South Carolina, in my teenage years. But yeah, we moved a lot, and it wasn't just
Yeah.
necessarily we moved from one city to the next. We moved a lot. We'd stay. We'd When you get to a base, housing is not always available, so you'd have to live, off base. And then, of course, if they could get you into housing, then of course you would move into housing. And a lot of times that's what would happen. We'd get transferred to a new
Yeah.
station, and we'd live off base, and then housing would
And
become
then
available.
you'd have to
We'd move
go
on
live
base.
on base, and then you'd have to
Yeah,
go to another school, and yeah.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of that. And, you might have been there 2 years, you might be there 4 years, it depended. But,
Did you live overseas at all?
no, we never did that, which
Yeah.
is unfortunate because, then I started traveling as an older adult, and I love to travel, but I just can't imagine traveling now, like
Yeah.
we did 8 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's just everything's so different now. It's hard enough just to go to fly from one state to another.
Exactly. I was so fortunate that Kentucky's deadline for the Real ID is May 7th, and I don't have the Real ID.
Well, I have a passport and I have my passport card, so I figure if I have to fly again, I'll just use my passport. That's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, are you currently participating in any wonderful collaborations you'd like to share with everybody?
Oh, I'm doing the Survival Seeds 25. I'm not big into collaborations. I have the ones that I like to do. I like the Survival Seeds. Anything with gardening, because I don't cook. I'm not the person that cooks around here, and I wasn't the person that cooked in my house before my husband passed away. He was the one that did all the cooking,
Oh, wow.
and so I'm not. I do cook. I know how to cook. I'm a good cook. I just don't have a passion for it. And it's like I'll eat a hot dog,
Hi, garden steak
and
gardener.
some chips, or but I'm just every once in a while if I want a steak, I just no big deal. But I just don't have the passion for cooking that my husband and my son has. My daughter-in-law is really good too. She grew up in a very large Italian family, and I love it when she gets in the kitchen and starts making Italian dishes.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like tonight, my son he fried up some steaks and some baked potatoes and asparagus, and me and him sat and ate dinner tonight. My daughter-in-law and my grandson, they are in Washington, D.C. doing the tour down there, or up there
Wow.
right now. So they'll be home Friday morning.
That's
Kind of quiet
neat.
around then.
Yeah. So you're doing the Survival Seeds collaboration.
Yep.
Are you going to do the building skills collaboration?
I haven't. Yeah, building skills.
I don't remember the name we decided, but yeah, it's a collaboration. If any of you, I don't know who is all signed up yet, but if you received an email and if you haven't and you're interested, let us know. You get to build a project. Anything. You can build anything. It's in June.
I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can build anything. You can build a birdhouse. You can build a raised bed. You can build a house if you want to.
Yeah, I've got a lot of building to do. I think that's one of the things that I want to learn how to do is woodworking. I want to do some carpentry. I watch you build your wood room, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. But I have a basement that is practically gutted, and I have to rebuild it. So
Yeah. It's so satisfying when you get to watch the progress you make. And it's okay to make mistakes because you can fix them. I mean, you can. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I made so many mistakes and you can just fix it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at my basement and I know all the things that I need to do. But I want to build a pantry and I want to build a small office. But before I can do that, I got to get rid of the moisture that's coming through the walls.
Yeah.
So that's another project that I've got going. I've got so many projects going on. Like I said, I wake up in the morning and I'm going, okay, so what project am I working on today?
Yeah. That's what I do. That's what I do, Kathleen. I do the same thing. It's a lot.
I feel like I do a lot of piddling. It's like, okay, I do all my chores. And then I'm like, okay, so what was I going to do today? Oh yeah, I was going to do this. Or I go over to my mother-in-law's because literally I have two houses that I have to keep up with.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right now it went from gray and brown and yucky to green and lush, and I swear 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And the grass is just like growing like crazy, and the weeds are starting to grow.
Yeah, I just mowed, and then it rained again, and then I mowed again. I mowed a little bit today, because I had some stuff buried under the grass. I'm like, I know I have their stuff here, so I had to pull it all out, get that mowed down, and now I need to get across the street. I just mowed her yard, and the area around that. She has 14 acres. It's mostly wooded across the street. Mine is just 1 acre, so that's pretty easy to mow. But I've
Yeah.
got a big field that we try to keep mowed down because that's where we run the dog. Then I have around my chicken coop and my greenhouse, and then we have the big field, and then we have the area around the house. And then I can mow all that, and then I have to pull out my weed eater, and then I have to weed eat everything.
Yeah.
So it used to be a 2-day job, but I've got it down to almost one. And now that I got that zero turn, I used to do it all with a big John Deere or a little John Deere, but now I zero turn, and that thing's quick.
That's awesome. Yeah. I usually do the weed eating around the house and the garden, and I haven't done any yet, so it looks bad.
Like, so that's why I started. I just did a video on my curb appeal where the grass right up against my house. I mean, every 3 or 4 days I had to go out and weed eat it. I'm like, I'm done doing this. I spend, half an hour, 45 minutes weed eating, just around my house. So I started laying down weed barrier and mulch. And I think that's where I'm going to grow all my melons at this year. I'm just going to grow them in buckets.
Oh, what a great idea. Yeah.
So, but I got to get there, but I've got 2 holly stumps that I got to get cut down before I can put down any more weed barrier. And then I got to go buy more mulch because I didn't buy enough.
Yeah. How awesome. Yeah. I have probably 6 tomato plants that are doing really, really, really well. And then I have some that haven't even come up yet because I planted them all as seeds. And there's some that didn't come up at all.
I had my Better Boys, my tomatoes. I planted 20 Better Boys. They came right up. And then the other ones, for some reason, they didn't grow as well. And I have another 10 Better Boys that are just now starting to get up to where I can plant them outside. And my Romas, I had 5 Romas come up, but they stopped growing. And I don't know. I think I'm going to have to plant some more seeds.
Yeah.
Hey, Gail.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to replant mine too. But I have a lot of things that are like this tall, and then some things that are like this tall.
Same thing.
It's so weird. I mean, it's just really strange to me.
And my I did my herbs. It was like they started out really, really well, and then it's like the things that I started first did really well, and then they didn't. But my bee balm, lemon balm, they're coming up. My hyssop is coming up really well. But I need to get it. I need to get it planted. They're still in their little containers. So I don't know what we're doing. They started off really well, and they're starting to back bounce, but we'll see. But I'm really proud right now because I got my tomatoes in the grass.
I'm just grateful to have anything growing right now because last year was so terrible.
Yeah. So we got our tomatoes in, and then it rained. So now I can't get back out there for a couple of days, and then in a couple of days it'll rain again. But trying to get out into those fields once they've been tilled, it's like it's a muddy mess. Just a muddy mess.
My son says Christy kills our plants.
I used to kill quite a few plants when I first started.
Yeah.
He called me a black thumb, and I'm like, yeah, well, now I grow more than I kill, so I think I got past that.
Oh,
Practice makes perfect.
it does. It does. And I think sometimes, like I went and I got tons and tons of compost this year, and I just think there's spots that are just not good, and other spots that are better. And even though it's mixed up, I can't figure it out. But if they die, just replant them and try again.
That's all you can do. Sometimes it's the seeds, sometimes it's something in the soil, sometimes I
Yeah.
have one bed that I couldn't get anything to really grow in, and I think I kind of figured it out. I think it's in a spot and it's hot. But I've been growing onions in it and garlic, and I haven't had any problems. But I tried to
Yeah.
grow up stuff in it, like I put my strawberries in it. Strawberries did not like it, but now it's my garlic and my onion bed, and they're growing really well. So
Huh. Maybe I'll have to try that. Maybe that's the issue.
just try growing something else.
Yeah, try growing something else. Well, Kathleen, it has been such a privilege to have you on tonight. And I mean, it really has. And I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope everyone's enjoyed having Kathleen on. And sometime in the future, hopefully we'll have her on again. She's got wonderful stories. And if you go over to her channel, Literature and More with Kathleen, make sure you listen to her. She's got it all done in chapters, and it's just a wonderful book that she's written. And
yeah, I'm working on it. I actually finished it. Like I said, I'm in the beta process of reading it, and I still have like 14 more chapters to read. So.
Well, it's really neat. And so be sure to go over and listen to every chapter. And she's very talented. Very talented.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, very talented. Yeah. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody in the chat. I truly do. And thank you for coming. And remember, check out the collaborations right now. There's a collaboration going on called Healthy Snacks 25, hosted by Mountain Grandma, Gail Southern Living, and Life in the Piedmont. Yeah, it's really a good one. It's got some wonderful recipes. There's another one coming up in June or in May. The one in May, I think there's a hot dog one.
That one.
Yeah, that Life in the Piedmont is hosting. I don't know if she's hosting it with somebody else, but yeah, it's like, I don't remember what it's called, but you get to create your favorite hot dog and toppings on it.
Mayonnaise and mustard.
Be creative. A hot dog. And then in June is the building one, building skills, and that's hosted by me, Tammy over at Mountain Grandma Homestead, and Jan from Simply Jan Homestead. So be sure you check that out. And then in July, I believe, what is it? In July, it's My Apothecary, hosted by Mountain Grandma, I believe. So, hi, DC Family Homestead. Welcome. I hope you pass your final exam. Yeah, so there's just a lot of really neat collaborations going on right now for the summer. And I want to thank you all again for helping us get our channel to 100,000 subscribers. I so appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully I'll get that little silver button and yeah, I figured if I get it, I'll take it to the YouTube meetup so people can just see what they're like. It's probably plastic.
Probably, but they look cool.
I don't know. So we can all just, everybody can take a picture and just pretend that it's theirs. Okay, I'll share it. I don't care because I love y'all. I want to share everything with you. Anyway, I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And Kathleen, do you have anything coming up that you want to share?
Oh, other than goodness, do I have anything? No, I can't really say. I'm probably going to be winding down a little bit when I'm in Florida. It's really hard to make anything, so I may take a month off.
Well, be sure to go over and check out our channel and check out our playlists and yeah, it's wonderful. So I'm going to end it here, and you guys have a great evening. And I am going to try to play the closing song. Thank you, Kathleen.
We had a dream many years ago to live life away from it all, to have some sheep, maybe a cow or two, with cats and dogs and goats and an occasional moon. With our love for God, we can't go wrong. Our love can only continue to grow strong. Doesn't matter the difficult roads, it's true, for we have each other and love will carry us through. We came from another time, a time when dreams were bold, another time when values took hold. You couldn't give up hope, for it was always there. Another time we fared to do.
Say hi. Hi. Wave.
We came from another time, a time when dreams were bold, another time when values took hold. You couldn't give up hope, for it was always there. Another time we fared.
I'm glad.
Came from another time, a time when dreams were bold, another time when values took hold. You couldn't give up hope, for it was always there. Another time we fared.
Put the Todd in the tent with me and the kids. And her feet. I'm at it again.
We had a dream many years ago to live life away from it all, to have some sheep, maybe a cow or two, with cats and dogs and goats and an occasional moon. With our love for God, we can't go wrong. Our love can only continue to grow strong. Doesn't matter the difficult roads, it's true. For we have each other, and love will carry us through. We came from another time, a time when dreams were bold. Another time when values took hold. You couldn't give up hope, for it was always there. Another time we fared to do.
Say hi. Hi. Wave.
We came from another time, a time when dreams were bold. Another time when values took hold. You couldn't give up hope, for it was always there. Another time we
I'm
fared.
glad.
Came from another time, a time when dreams were bold. Another time when values took hold. You couldn't give up hope, for it was always there. Another time we fared.
Pepper Todd in the tent with me and the kids. And their food. I'm at it again.